We use the do verbs every day. However, sometimes you could find yourself confused whether to say do, does, or did in your day to day conversations. In this video, you are going to learn all you need to know about the do verbs so that you can clear all your confusion and communicate confidently, just like a native speaker. Are you ready? Stay tuned. So let's consider these sentences. These are common sentences that I've heard people express. What did you want first? So this is like asking a crying baby what he or she wants. Another expression we have, did you want some tea? That is like trying to inquire what somebody would like to take. So is it correct to say, did you want some tea? In another context, another person could say, did you have a pink bag I would like to buy? So, in today's world, we order a lot online. And sometimes you might just want to inquire what a particular vendor has. So, is it correct to say, did you have this or did you have that? Another one we have, does he likes sleeping? So, this is another very common usage of the do verbs that I've heard around. Another one we have, he does goes to school every day. Is this expression correct as well? This is like trying to make emphasis. However, all of these expressions are incorrect. This is simply because of the wrong usage of the do verbs. So, how do you use the do verbs correctly so that you can communicate correctly and confidently? First, you need to understand that the do verb is a variety of the verb to do. That is, it is used to express that somebody has done something. And it has three major forms, which is do, does, did. So when I'm saying the do verbs, I'm referring to the three do, does, and did. So the do verb can function sometimes as an helping verb. For example, I do agree with you. In this context, it is an helping verb because there is another main verb in that expression, which is agree. I can as well say, I agree with you. So the do there is only helping the main verb agree. Sometimes it can as well be the main verb that is the only verb in the expression. So we have, she always does her best. So the only verb in this expression is what? Does. Always is simply an adverb. So this is just to let you know that the do verb can function as the helping verb, that is, we can use it alongside another verb, and sometimes it can be the only verb in the expression, depending on what we are trying to express. So now, whether it is an helping verb or the main verb, how do we use it? So use does when you have a singular subject, that is, when you are referring to just one person, or you are using the pronoun he, she, or it, and you are talking in the present tense. What we mean by present tense, or the situations that are usually expressed in the present tense, are still going to be exemplified in the coming examples. Just stay tuned. So use do when you have a plural subject, that is, when you are referring to two or more people, or you are using the pronoun we or they, or you are also using I. I refer to one person, that is yourself, but it is usually grammatically treated as plural because it usually take the plural verb. It is only the case where you are using am, I am, that we use the singular verb. So did is simply the past tense of both. So if you are talking in the past tense, whether it is a singular subject or a plural subject does not matter. Use did for both once it is in the past. So this is the explanation of the difference amongst these three. But this explanation is easier. The confusion usually come in practical examples. So let's look at a few practical examples. So we are using does for present tenses, right? So we have he does the dishes every day. So this is what a routine. When you want to express something that is a routine, that is something that somebody does regularly, make sure that you use the does, which is what for the present tense. It doesn't even matter whether the person is not doing it at that moment. Once it is done regularly, use the present tense. Another example we have, they do the cooking every day. So this is another what? Routine, something that somebody does all the time. Do you understand? So the difference between the first one and the second one is that the second one we have a plural subject, which is they. The first one, we have a singular subject, which is what? E. So we are using does because it is singular in the first and do because it is plural in the second. But both are in the what? Present tense. And we're using it to express what? Routine. Another example we have, do you like chicken? So when you are trying to ask questions about somebody's opinion, it is not in the past, it is in the present. It is in the present tense. So do not use did. Do not say, did you like chicken? Rather say, do you like chicken? Do you understand? So because you are still asking in the present, you want to know that person's opinion. So it is a present situation, not past. Another example we have, does he like pizza? So this is what? Question. We can use does to also what? Ask question. The do verbs generally. One of its functions is that it helps us to change a statement into a question. Instead of saying directly he likes chicken, we can change it into a question. Does he like chicken? So another thing I need you to pay attention to is the main verb in the sentence once we have used any of the do verb. The main verb must be in the base form without s. For example, the last statement we have, he likes pizza. That's what we are going to have. But because we already have the do verb, does, so the does is already carrying the S. It is the ES that we add to do that make it to be what? Does, present. So the main verb is going to be in its base form. Whether you're using do, did, or does, the main verb in that expression should be in its base form without S, without ED, without any reflection. So another example we have, he does go to school every day. So here, does is only making us to do what? It's only helping us to emphasize the statement. And because we already have does, we cannot say goes again. Do you understand? Just like I've said, once you use this verb, any of the do verb, the second verb in that sentence should be in its base form without S, without ED. Another example, I do teach students from different parts of the world. So it's going to be what? I do teach students from different parts of the world because this is a present tense. I'm just trying to emphasize what I do. This is my routine. I'm still going to do it tomorrow. I did it yesterday. I'm doing it right now and I'm still going to do it tomorrow. So when you have routine like that, even when I'm not doing it in that moment that I'm talking about it, I'm going to talk about it in the present tense. Do you understand? Because it is a routine. It is something that I do regularly. So when you're trying to express a routine, express it in what? Present tense. Are you following? So another example we have, they do love their children. So they loved their children yesterday, today, and tomorrow. This is also another word. Like it is like a continuous action. Do you understand? So when it is like that, use the word, the present tense, which is what? Do. Are you following? So let's look at another example. Use does or do for present tenses. For example, he does not like pizza. So when we talk about do generally, the do verbs, we can have not in the expression. It can be a statement, a normal statement, and it can be in form of what? A question. But what you need to understand is that the do usually reflects the tense, whether it is simple, whether it is in the present tense, or whether it is in the past tense. Do you understand? So the main verb should be in its base form, which is without S, without ED. So it could be, he did not like the pizza, maybe a particular pizza that was served yesterday or earlier today in the past tense. So it's going to be, he did not like. Like is still going to be like. You're not going to say he did not liked. No. Because did, the do verb is already taking the tense, whether it is present or past. Do you understand? So another example we have, they do not attend such meetings. They do not attend such meetings. So they, because we have they as the subject, which is plural, the do verb is going to be what? The plural do verb, which is what? Do. Another example we have, he did the dishes last night. He did the dishes last night. So did here is functioning as the main verb. There's no other verb. So, but because it is last night, it is in the past, we are going to use what? Did. Even if it were to be plural, for example, they did attend the meeting. They did attend the meeting. Did here or the do verb here is functioning to as what? As a medium of emphasis. Do you understand? So it is already in the past. But because we already have did, attend is going to be attend. Did is already reflecting the words, the past tense. So we are not going to say they did attended the meeting. That's wrong grammatically. Do you understand? So it's going to be they did attend the meeting. They did come for the event. So it's not going to be they did came because you want to say the past tense. No. The do verb, when you have it, it is the do verb that is going to reflect the tense, not the main verb in the sentence. Another example we have, we did not arrive early. We did not arrive early. So it's not going to be we did not arrived early. Do you understand? It's going to be what? The main verb is going to be in its base form. Let the do verb do its what? its work. So another thing you need to pay attention with the do verb is that we use the contraction form a lot. What do we mean by contraction? We omit some letters. Do you understand? Just like instead of saying does not, we say doesn't. Instead of saying do not, we say don't. Instead of saying did not, we say what? Didn't. However, you need to note that these contraction forms are not allowed in formal writing. If you are trying to write your statement of purpose, you are trying to write your CV, you are trying to write a legal document, any write up that is what formal, do not use the words, the contraction forms. So let's go back to our initial sentences. So instead of saying, what did you want? Like you want to inquire, you should say, what do you want? Because it is present, it is not in the past. Do you understand? So if you see a crying baby, do not say, what did you want? Say, what do you want? Or in any context, if you are trying to make an inquiry, use do, not did. Did you want some tea? Ask your guest, do you want some tea? Because it is in the present tense. Do not say, did you want some tea? Another one, does he like sleeping? We already said that does is already carrying the tense. So the main verb should be in the base form. So it's going to be what? Does he like sleeping? That's the correct expression. Not, you're not going to put the S on the main verb again. You're not going to reflect the tense on the main verb again. So he does goes to school every day. It's going to be he does go, because does is already carrying the tense. So it's going to be he does go to school every day. So when you have the helping verb do and the main verb, leave the tense for the do. Leave the main verb to be in its bare form. Another one we have, did you have a pink bag I would like to buy? Especially when we are chatting our vendors these days, you should ask, do you have a pink bag I would like to buy? When you're inquiring, use do. Another one, did he went there? This is wrong. It's going to be, did he go there? Because did is already reflecting that we are talking in the past tense. Remember that I said earlier that did is the past tense of both do and does. So now let's look at a few practical quiz to test if you can now use your do, does, and did verbs confidently and correctly. Before we go into that, this is English with RMG. If you are still here, I want to believe that you are enjoying this lesson. Please subscribe to my channel for more content on English grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation tips, and general fluency tips. Thank you. So our first quiz we have, try to make an inquiry about something you would like to buy using the appropriate do verb. So remember that I said that when you are trying to inquire for something, you are still in your present tense. It is the present, so do not use what? Did. So next time you enter a supermarket or you are trying to chat a vendor, use what? Do. Let's say you want to buy eggs. So you are going to say, do you have 5 crates of eggs? Do not say, did you have? Do you understand? So another scenario, ask if the boy went to school on Tuesday using the do verb. So we are assuming here that Tuesday is already in the past. So what are you going to say? Did you go to school on Tuesday? Let me know if you get this correctly in the comments. So you're not going to say, did you went to school? No, it is wrong. What you're going to say is, did you go to school? Do you understand? I hope you've understood how to use the do verbs. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. See you in the next video. Bye for now.